Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. Excuse the rain, but it's been doing it since I got up and there hasn't been a gap, and I want to get the filming done. Today you get 3 videos in one really, because I want to sort of give you an outline of the day yesterday, how it went, our visit to Burnhams and all that, and in addition to that, having been to an orchid show and nursery. Obviously we've got some new plants, so there's a getting out of the box and one unwrapping to do. It's not all wrapped up properly, I mean, I'll go into that. And then I've got lots of clips that I took yesterday of the Orchid Society displays and some of Burnham's nursery, but just the sales area this time. I haven't filmed the nursery itself, mainly because this time of year it's a sea of green. You know, it's plants that have been divided up, ready to sort of grow on for next year and things, so I didn't bother with that. And I'm going to put some of those clips on the end of here, and that will probably be the ones of the Burnham sales area, so that the Orchid Society displays can be done as a separate video, and then the Orchid Societies involved can have their name in the video, which means people can search in on them. So I'll probably do it that way, and that will probably be tomorrow's video. I'll do it today, but I'll post it tomorrow. So 3 parts. Part 1 is how did the day go? Well, this was expected for the whole of our journey there, and it didn't happen. It either blew over in the night or didn't arrive as expected, but we had a pleasant journey there. And you have to bear in mind the journey, parts of the journey towards Dorchester, but from Dorchester through to Bridport and then on into Devon, the scenery is stunning. It's a part of the country I would love to live in. Everywhere you look is rolling hills, there's some craggy hills, wooded hillsides, rolling downland, coastline, because you're travelling along parallel with the coast. It's gorgeous, it's a smashing drive, providing the weather's okay. I mean, I've done that drive once in thick fog, and I spent the whole journey looking at a pair of red lights, car in front. So yeah, we had a nice journey there and a nice journey back. We had some rain on the way back, but not enough to slow everything down, if you know what I mean, just light rain. So that was good. We got there and the car park was full, so we had to park in the little overflow car park, which in fact belongs to another company, but they don't come in at weekends, so obviously there's an arrangement there. And I took Sean's plants along, and saw the video of me putting them in the box, sorting those out. So met up with Sean virtually straight away and went out and I talked through the plants as to like this one needs potting, watch out for the scale on these, all that sort of stuff. We had a chat and he said, and I've got a plant for you if you want it. If not, because he was a member of the Devon Orchid Society, who was, it was their show really, they had a sales table, members' plants for sale to the public. They take the opportunity. So Sean said, if you don't want it, I'll put it on the sales table. And I said, well actually, the one that I've got is going to Carol, because it came off a mount, it's gradually gone downhill over a couple of years, and it needs somebody else to sort of push it on. So I said, yes, I'll take it, because it was a much more mature plant. It's actually in bloom, but I will be taking the blooms off because they're going over. Give the plant a chance to acclimatise, shall we say. Yeah, so it was a very pleasant day. Had a long chat with Trey, and the plant he sent me, the surprise box with the little maxillaria in, was a gift. So he didn't want anything for it. He said, no, you showed interest in that. And he said it was really strange because I'd forgotten I had that plant, and I was sorting through some plants and saw the label and thought, that's the one Roger was talking about. Let's see if I can break a bit off. So it was a genuine gift. That's nice touch. Yeah, chatted with Trey quite a lot, and his new assistant, who was busy, sorting things out and stuff like that. Spent quite a bit of time chatting to Arthur, Burnhams. He was in. I don't think he likes doing weekends, but with a day like that, you've got there's two societies there and their members floating around looking for things to buy and all the asking questions and stuff. And also it was open to the public as a consequence, because Sarah only opens one weekend a month now. So there's only one more Burnham's open day at a weekend, or 8 days at a weekend, until Christmas, and then it'll be into the new year. So yeah, so obviously quite a few people there. Took quite a while to film the clips to try and keep faces out, you know, and just do plants. But you can get away with that with a video camera by just going in quite close. You know, the big long shots sort of thing would have people in, so I've sort of avoided that. But yeah, came to an arrangement with Sean. He said, "What do you want for your plants?" And I said, "You can buy Lynn and me lunch, and that'll do." Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, so and Sean sat with us for lunch as well. So we had lunch. Lynn and I stopped at the usual place for our breakfast, which was excellent. It always has been. That place has yet to fail. Every time we go there, it's good. Service is good. Everybody's polite. The food's good. It's cooked properly. Everything's great. And from my point of view, the best cup of coffee I've ever had. Times the number of times I've been there, because every time I take the first sip and go, "Oh, that is so good." So I don't know what they use, but it's the best coffee I've ever tasted in that place. If I live by, I go there, live nearby, I go there for breakfast every day just for the coffee. Coffee and toast, please, thank you. Anyway, so journeys went okay. We got there pretty quickly. It's a good time to travel that time of day, early on a Sunday morning, because there's nobody about. You know, we had lots of the journey, we had the roads to ourselves. So yeah, that was good. And a pleasant day at the nursery, chatted to quite a few people. Several people came up and said hello that watch the YouTube channel. That's always good. Yeah, so a good day out, I would say, was had by all. And Sarah still wanted to stick to her normal opening hours, so kick-out time was 3 o'clock. So, you know, and Lynn bought raffle tickets, so we had to stay till the end. No big deal. And she didn't win anything, I don't think. But yeah, so, you know, we left sort of mid-afternoon and therefore didn't get back too late. I got back here about 5:30, which is a very reasonable time to get home, you know. So that was good. Lynn still had, I think, 40 or 45 minutes drive to do after she left me, sort of thing. So she still had a way to go. Yeah, so a good day out. All went well. And now I suppose you want to see what I've got. Well, as I said, I've got 3 plants here in a box, one of which is wrapped up. So you can tell which one came from Burnham. It's the one that's wrapped up, and the other two didn't. So we will have a look. I'll just swing the camera around because this is no big unboxing, you know, with scissors and knives and sellotape everywhere. It's not that. They're just sitting here in a box. If I had to angle the camera so that you couldn't see them while I was doing that bit. So we'll just swing the camera around, if it will work, and drop it down a bit, but not too much. Something like that, I would say. Right, so I'm just going to get the box. I left that box at an angle like that so that the pots didn't fall over, and hopefully they still won't. And that tray goes back over there where I got it from. That'll have the little twinkles put back in it. So we'll leave the one that's wrapped up till last, and then we'll have a look at the 2 that aren't wrapped up. So I can get the plants to let go. Right, so plant number 1 is in bloom, and it is Shelob Tolkien. But I've had a version of that plant in my collection forever, as long as I can remember. But the one I've got now started going downhill and didn't get dealt with in time, so it now needs somebody who can spend the time and look after it. I have got it off the mount and put it in the pot. I've done that bit, so it hasn't been in the pot too long. Now this is a reasonably strong plant. Shelob it's got a lot of brassica in it, so it is a bit of a climber. So the latest growths are starting to climb out of the pot, but it hasn't been in the pot too long, so it can stay there for the next two growths. But as the blooms are going over now anyway, they can come off to give the plant more of a chance to acclimatise to here, which it needs to do. This is going to be a strange environment for it. There's a spike already gone over there. It's funny, some people do leave spikes on and let them die back naturally. It is a way of doing it, nothing wrong with that at all. That's what would happen in the wild. Nobody goes around snipping the spikes and picking the dead blooms off in the wild, do they? They just die back and drop off eventually. That's how it goes. Another new cane, or another cane to add to the collection. Getting quite a few down there now. Right. So as a plant, it's quite a nice plant. Not bad at all. As I say, it's got roots, got a pot full of roots down here. And it's got new roots pushing out from the base of the rhizome, even though it's climbing. As you can see, this, where's the camera? You can see this bit here is not touching the media at all. Yeah? But the new roots have already done their thing and gone down in the pot. But what I will probably do is just top the media up around the base of the rhizome so that the roots are touching something. So that's number one. That came from Sean. And then this one came off the Orchid Society sales bench. And this is me venturing in to orchids that should grow well here, that I haven't had many of or bothered with too much in the past. But this is what's happening as a consequence of the change of environment. I've got to look at genera that are highly likely to do well here and possibly get more of those in, as some of the others that I know aren't going to do very well go out. So, you know, we don't drop the numbers down huge, you know. So this is a coelogeny. It says sold to Roger. Well, yeah. No, they were selling plants, and of course people don't want to walk round holding a plant, you know, while they're doing the rest of their thing. So they like to leave it behind the counter with where they got it from, you know. And obviously they need to know which ones have already been sold, so they don't sell them again, and who they belong to. So this is a coelogeny, and I chose this one because it's got two strong new growths and a good set of roots going down in the pot, and quite honestly it's solid in the pot, so it's got a good root system. And it is, and it says on here it was repotted in 2022. So it's been done. Apparently it was they had about 5 or 6 of these for sale, but apparently it was a really, really large plant that was split up, so it's a division, a 2022 division. And that's what it is. So a coelogeny that I'd never heard of. So the first thing we do is, who's got a decent phone with a signal? Right, look it up, let's have a look at the pretty blooms and everything. And this is one that has shades of a fawny colour with sort of brown in the lip. So it'll be my first coelogeny of that colour. There are quite a few in that colour. Yeah, so it's Lawrenceana. Yes, coelogeny Lawrenceana. And it is highly likely to bloom on the next growths, and there should be 2 of them. So we should, in theory, get 2 spikes on that. Of course, we might already have one. So we have a spike. So we will see the blooms in the not too distant future, providing the whole thing doesn't blast due to the change of environment. But in theory, it's now in an environment that's possibly better than the one it was in before. I've got the cool temperatures now. We've got the good light to go with it. Because a lot of people, they may have the lower temperatures, but you know, their environment hasn't got the bright light that I've got. Right, and then the last one is a genera that I have some of. It's a genera that I have killed many, and I'm hoping it's a genera that from now on I can grow. And I picked this not because it's a good plant, because it's not. I picked it because I saw the blooms from a distance and thought that would be a nice one to take home. So let's just get the stuff off. And then we'll have a look. what we've got is a Miltoniopsis, and it's a Miltoniopsis with incredibly large blooms and a nice blend of colours. As I said, I saw this from a distance and I thought, that's a nice set of colours, because it's one of those where the bright orange and yellow is next to a pinky purple colour, which shouldn't work, but the orange is outlined in white, so it's not touching the pink, so it does work. This one's just looks like it's starting to go over. There's still a bud or two to open, and it's blatantly obvious it's two plants, and each plant has two bulbs, so that this is not two strong plants by any means. And Sarah said when we got those in, they were absolutely dripping wet, and they've taken a long time to dry off. And she said that the one you've got there hasn't even dried off properly yet. So you know, she's talking to the converted basically, but she doesn't necessarily know that. I know that needs to dry out a lot. It's heavy, it's wet, very wet. What roots we've got in there, I don't know. Haven't got a clue. It hasn't got a name. It's a no ID. It's just Miltoniopsis. And as I said, there's a spike in there with buds pushing on, so the blooms will be hopefully not blasting. And this spike here has still got a bud to open at the top, or two possibly. So yeah, so that's the one I actually bought from Burnhams, and it's a lovely Miltoniopsis. Those are very, very nice blooms. So pleased with that. Very pleased with that. As I said, it's not a brilliant plant. If it was a 4-bulb plant, it would be classed as a pretty good plant, but it's not. It's two lots of two. And I can see right through the gap. In this case, it's blatantly obvious it's two plants. But that seems to be a way with a lot of the mass producers nowadays. They are capable of getting very young plants to bloom. So the chances are, to get those two plants in the pot, the younger, smaller bulbs, as it was grown on, are just broken off, and they grab two of them and shove them in a pot out the door as quick as possible. And that's how they end up with us as two plants rather than one. Right, so that's the stuff from the day out yesterday, and what I'll do now is I'll put some clips together of the sales area around Burnhams, add some music on there because the noise level was high because of the volume of people. And it's something I've noticed, where you get quite a large gathering of people, and a pretty good percentage of them are elderly, many of which are starting to get hard of hearing. The old volume of the voices don't half go up. And I've said that to a few people before, because you sometimes find somebody who doesn't hear too well, it's their own voice they don't hear as well, don't forget, so they raise their voice, and I feel like saying, it's not me that's deaf, I'm okay, no need to shout. Anyway, so I'll put some clips together, tag them on the end here with some music, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by. Bye for now.